Hi everyone. In the last session, we have seen introduction to electric drives. So in today's session, we'll see the parts of electric drives. So from the block diagram, the following are the major parts of the electric drives. One is source, motor, load, power modulator, and control unit. So by combining all these, we can call that as electric drive, because if source is electrical source and other components also related to the electric parts, then the combination of source, load, motor, power modulator with control unit is called the electric drive. That's why the parts of the electric drives are this. So coming to the sources. So there are different type of sources based on the available sources. Like for example, if it is low power, we'll go for the single phase source. If it is high power, we'll go with the three phase source. So that is with the 50H or 60H AC supply based on countries, different countries. So single phase means will be 230 volts 50H. If it is three phase means 400 volts with the 50H supply. So likewise, low and medium power applications require this single phase and three phase supply. So in traction drives at high power application, generally in traction drives require the high power applications or high power requirement, so that even at high power level, the single phase AC supply is used. So generally single phase is used for the low power application, but because of the economical aspects, in traction drives also single phase AC supply is used. For high power ratings, generally the motors may be rated at 3.3 kilovolts, 6.6 kV, 11 kV and higher. As you are going for higher and higher power ratings, your corresponding motor ratings also need to be higher. In case of aircrafts, space applications, generally there the weight is a criteria. We need to reduce the weight in aircraft or space applications. To achieve that objective, there the same AC supply with high frequency. When you are going for higher frequencies, that inertia will be reduced. The magnetic component size will be reduced. That's why in case of aircrafts and space applications, 400H AC supply is generally used to achieve the high power to weight ratio for motors. Motor is major component, so that's why to reduce that motor components in the space applications, we need to increase the frequency size so that the magnetic size will be reduced. In mainline traction, a high voltage supply is preferred because of the economy. That's what we were discussed. Generally in India, it is 25 kilovolts, 50H supply is employed. 25 kilovolts, 50H supply is employed. This you can see if you even whenever you travel in the trains, railway stations, you can find this display boards also. 25 kilovolts line, single phase line like that. So in underground traction, generally the clearance between the live conductor and the earth is maintained at minimum level. In view of this, the underground traction systems employ a low voltage which is equal to 500 volts to 750 volts DC supply. So underground DC supply voltage range is 500 volts to 750 volts. Some drives are empowered from the battery, because whenever the battery driven electric drives also there. So example, forklift trucks and milk vans, even the same in the railway stations, to clean the platforms you can find that electric drive cleaners also. So there we require battery driven electric drive. So for that, depending on the size of the battery or depending on the size of the motor, the battery voltage may have typical values of 6 volts, 12 volts, 24 volts, 48 volts, and even 110 volts DC. So that depends on the application or motor size. We need to choose the required battery size. We can connect either in series and parallel combinations to meet that load requirement. So another example of drives fed from a low voltage DC supply is solar power drives. So this is also solar power drives need to be driven with the solar panels, which are used in space and water pumping applications. Space, I think all of us know that uh, in space we are using the solar panels to drive the aircrafts. Whereas in water pumping applications also nowadays we can find many water pumping applications in the agriculture field with solar powered water pumping systems. Okay, even you can find many research papers on this also. So generally they'll place only few panels nearby that motor, water pumping motor, and they'll achieve this objective. Electric motors. The next part of the electric drive is electric motors. One is DC motors. In DC motors, again we have different various types of motors. One is shunt motor, series motor, compound motor, and permanent magnet motor. So based on the application, we'll choose the required motor type of motor. And AC motors. In AC motors, again two types are induction motors. In induction motors, again squirrel cage. Generally, squirrel cage is preferred as because it is robust and maintenance free. So first squirrel cage and wound rotor and linear induction motors. So these are the induction type of motors. Another type of AC motors is synchronous motors. One is wound field synchronous motor and permanent magnet synchronous motor. So generally this will have a problem of sparking at brushes. To avoid those problems, generally brushless DC motors also employed. So the brushless DC motor have low power and high speed servo used in high speed servo applications. This brushless DC motor do not have commutators. So there is no question of sparks. Generally brushless DC motor are in the permanent magnets when we are using. So inside there is an inverter to achieve that commutation part. It will take care of that commutation part. So stepper motors for position control, we'll use these stepper motors. Generally this will be used in robots. Switch reluctance motor, because of low inertia, switch reluctance motors are used in the aircraft applications, space applications, switch reluctance motor, because it is having high power to weight ratio is low. Another part of the electric drive is control unit. Control unit generally it controls or it used to control the power modulator. So controls for the power modulator are provided in the control unit. Because power modulator need to be controlled to match the source and load requirement. If your source is AC or any type of source, that need to be matched with the load requirement. For that we need the control unit. The control unit will take care of the closed loop operation also. So when the power electronic converters are used, the control unit will consist of firing circuits which employ linear and digital integrated circuits, transistors and microprocessor when sophisticated control is required. So all these control aspects will be taken care by this control unit, and which will have firing circuit, mainly firing circuits, and in the closed loop operation we may use the digital integrated circuits and transistors also, because we need to sense the speed and we need to take that speed as a feedback, and that need to be compared with our reference speed, and that reference speed and actual speed difference need to be processed through the any PA controller or PID controller, any one of the processing unit that need to be given to the firing circuit, so that corresponding to that error, generated error, the firing pulses will be adjusted to get the required speed. So that's what the function of that control unit. When the control of switching circuit is required for any of the purpose described in switching circuit, the function of the control unit is to provide the sequencing and interlocking. So the sequence of pulses need to be provided properly, because here power electronic switches, when you are using, we need to fire that power electronic switches properly in a sequence. Then only we can get that particular power converter output properly. So that need to be achieved with proper sequencing of, or firing the with proper sequence of firing pulses. Then only we can achieve that required voltage or required power levels at the output of the power converter. Solid state relays and programmable logic circuits are used for complex control. So even programmable logic control, PLC, and this PLC generally it requires a little complexity. So but when you are going for more and more requirements, more and more control in the power modulator to meet that load requirements, then we need to go for complex control circuits. So this is all about the parts of the electric drive. And generally here we have not seen power modulator completely. So in the power modulator, again we need to go with the all type of conversion, like if your source is AC, what type of power modulator we need to use, what are the types of power modulator which will convert the AC to DC. Those things we'll see in the next class. Thank you all.